Hello there, my dear friends. Gather round, won't you? It's me, your old storyteller, with that deep, rumbling voice that's seen more than a few sunsets. Welcome to another episode of Forgotten Stories, where we dust off the tales that time tried to bury but couldn't quite manage. If you're one of those souls who loves a good mystery, the kind that tickles your brain and keeps you up at night pondering ancient riddles, then you're in the right place. Tonight, we're diving into the enigma of the Indus Valley Script, those peculiar symbols etched on seals from a civilization older than most folks can imagine. Picture this: thousands of years ago, in the cradle of one of humanity's first great cities, people scratched secrets into clay and stone that we still can't read today. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What were they saying? Prayers? Trade deals? Love letters? I'm just an old grandfather here, spinning yarns by the fireside, or, in this case, by the glow of your screen or speakers. I'll tell this tale slow and steady, with a bit of humor to keep things light, because life's too short for dry lectures. But fair warning, folks, I'm not as young as I used to be. Might need to take a break or two along the way. Stretch these creaky bones, grab a sip of water, or pop a pill for this old ticker. Don't worry, I'll warn you before I pause, and I'll be right back with more intrigue. Now, settle in, grab a blanket, and let's begin our journey into the sands of time. Our story starts not in the dusty ruins of ancient India and Pakistan, but in a bustling university library in modern-day Boston, where the air smells of old books and fresh coffee. Picture it: towering shelves crammed with tomes on forgotten empires, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like lazy bees, and the faint tap-tap of keyboards from students buried in their screens. This is the world of our heroine, Dr. Maya Rivera, a sharp-minded linguist in her mid-30s, with curly black hair tied back in a hasty ponytail, glasses perched on her nose, and a perpetual furrow in her brow from squinting at puzzles that refuse to solve themselves. Maya sat at a worn oak table, surrounded by stacks of photographs and replicas of ancient artifacts. Her fingers traced the edges of a small clay seal, no bigger than a matchbox, loaned from a museum collection. It was etched with strange symbols, a unicorn-like beast standing proud, flanked by squiggles that looked like arrows, fish, and jars. These were from the Indus Valley civilization, that enigmatic society that flourished around 2600 BCE along the banks of the mighty Indus River. cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, built with baked bricks so precise they'd make a modern engineer jealous, where people traded goods from afar, bathed in great public pools, and inscribed these mysterious marks on seals, tablets, and even pottery shards. You see, kids, the Indus folks were masters of urban planning, straight streets, drainage systems that would shame some cities today, and no signs of kings or wars in their ruins. But their script? Over 4,000 inscriptions found, with about 417 unique signs, mostly short bursts of 4 or 5 symbols. No long epics like the Egyptians' hieroglyphs, no bilingual stones like the Rosetta to crack the code. Scholars have tried for a century, more than 100 attempts, from linking it to Dravidian languages to Sumerian tithes, but it remains a locked chest, teasing us with hints of lost knowledge about trade, religion, and daily life. Maya leaned back in her chair, rubbing her temples. Another dead end, she thought, her mind swirling with frustration. These symbols mock me. Is it a language, a code for merchants, or just pretty pictures? She sighed, her shoulders slumping under the weight of her cardigan. Emotions bubbled up, not just annoyance, but a deep ache, like missing a loved one you'd never met. Her late grandfather, an archaeologist himself, had sparked this fire in her as a child, showing her pictures of those seals and whispering, "Someday, Mija, you'll unlock their secrets." And that was her desire, burning brighter than the library's lamps, to decipher the Indus Script. Not for fame or fortune, though rumors swirled of a $1 million prize offered by an Indian leader in 2025 to anyone who could crack it, but for the sheer thrill of discovery. To hear the voices of those ancient people, to understand how they bartered lapis lazuli from Afghanistan or cotton from their fields. Maya imagined it, revealing governance without kings, perhaps a society ruled by councils, or spiritual beliefs tied to those recurring bull and tree motifs. She wanted to bridge the millennia, to make the past speak. But as she packed her notes that evening, walking out into the crisp autumn air of Boston Common, leaves crunching under her boots, the scent of roasted chestnuts wafting from a vendor, she felt a spark. A colleague had emailed her about a new find, a cache of seals unearthed near Lothal, an ancient port city by the Arabian Sea. One bore an unusually long inscription, 17 signs. This could be it, she thought, her heart racing, palms sweaty despite the chill. The key to my desire. Little did she know, This pursuit would drag her into conflicts deeper than academic debates. Rivals in the field, skeptical funders, and even whispers of cultural battles over whether the script tied to Sanskrit or Dravidian roots. But that's for later. For now, let's follow Maya as she boards a plane to India, her backpack stuffed with notebooks and hope. The flight was long, turbulence jostling her like an old wagon on a dirt road. Maya stared out the window at the clouds, her mind drifting to imagined scenes of the ancient Indus. Picture it, the sun-baked plains of the Punjab, where the river Indus snaked like a silver serpent through fertile valleys. In Harappa, around 2500 BCE, a merchant named Charon, let's give him a name for our tale, hurried through the crowded marketplace. The air hummed with voices bartering in a tongue lost to time, the smell of spices and fresh-baked bread mingling with the earthy scent of the river. Charon, a sturdy man with a beard trimmed neat and a cotton tunic draped over his shoulders, clutched a small steatite seal in his calloused hand. He pressed it into wet clay on a bale of goods, cotton bound for distant Mesopotamia. The seal left its mark, symbols of a fish, a jar, and what looked like a comb. May this protect my trade, he thought, his brow furrowed in worry. Emotions played across his face, a tight jaw from the fear of bandits on the trade routes, a soft sigh of hope for safe passage. Asha, my wife, awaits my return, he muttered to his assistant, a young lad named Dev. These signs will ward off evil eyes. Dev nodded, his eyes wide. Master, do the priests say the script comes from the gods? Charon chuckled softly, clapping the boy on the back. Perhaps, lad, or perhaps it's just our way to mark what's ours. Names, measures, blessings. Back in the present, Maya's plane touched down in Delhi, the chaos of horns and crowds enveloping her like a warm, chaotic hug. She hailed a taxi to the Archaeological Survey of India office, where Dr. Rajesh Patel, a wiry expert with salt and pepper hair, greeted her with a firm handshake. Dr. Rivera, welcome. The Lothal seals are remarkable. One shows a ship, perhaps evidence of their seafaring. As they pored over the artifacts in a dimly lit room, dust motes dancing in the sunlight filtering through barred windows, Maya's excitement grew. She sketched the symbols, arrows pointing left, pictograms of animals, abstract lines that could be numbers or letters. If it's logosyllabic like Egyptian, she pondered, each sign might represent a sound and an idea. But doubts crept in. Over 417 signs? Too many for an alphabet, too few for pure ideograms. Her fingers trembled as she photographed them, emotions surging, elation mixed with the knot of anxiety in her stomach. That night, in her modest hotel room overlooking the bustling streets, Maya couldn't sleep. She paced, barefoot on the cool tile floor, muttering to herself. Computational efforts have failed. Entropy analysis shows it's structured like language, but no Rosetta. She recalled reading about Rajendran Rao's Markov model in 2009, suggesting the script had syntax, or Asko Parpola's Dravidian hypothesis. But claims like Jasnavedam's recent Sanskrit decoding in 2024? Controversial, dismissed by many. Ah, the conflict was brewing, friends. Maya desired the truth, but obstacles loomed. Academic gatekeepers who scoffed at outsiders, the sheer brevity of inscriptions, average 5 signs, like cryptic tweets from the Bronze Age. And personally, her funding was drying up, her department chair pressuring her for real results. The next day, at the Lothal site itself, wind-swept dunes by the Gulf of Combat, where ancient docks once harbored ships, Maya knelt in the excavation pit, brush in hand. The sun beat down, sweat beading on her forehead. She uncovered a tablet, symbols gleaming in the light. "This one, it's different," she whispered to Rajesh. He peered over, adjusting his glasses. Indeed, looks like a sequence repeating, perhaps a name or title. But as they celebrated over chai at a nearby tent, a shadow fell. A rival scholar, Dr. Victor Lang, a pompous German cryptographer, arrived unannounced. Rivera, chasing ghosts again. The script's not language, it's mere symbols for trademarks. Give up. Maya's cheeks flushed, her fists clenching under the table. He's wrong, she thought, anger boiling like the tea. I won't let him steal this. Oh, the tension thickens, doesn't it? But hold on, my dears. This old man's throat is parched. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a jiffy with more twists. Just need a quick sip of water and to stretch these legs. Stay tuned. The decoding simulations are about to begin, and you won't want to miss Maya's big breakthrough. Or is it a setback? Ah, you're still here? Wonderful. I hope you didn't nod off, though if you did, dream of ancient rivers. Did you share this with a friend yet? Tell 'em to subscribe to Forgotten Stories so they don't miss out on these gems. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, Maya facing her first real conflict at Lothal. As days turned to weeks, Maya immersed herself in the site. Location was everything. The salty breeze from the sea, the crunch of sandy soil underfoot, echoes of waves that once lapped at wooden ships. Her actions were methodical, digging carefully with trowel and brush, cataloging each find. Thoughts raced. What if I simulate decodings? Assume it's Proto-Dravidian, map signs to sounds. One evening, under a canopy of stars, she sat with her laptop, running algorithms. "Let's try," she murmured. Emotions showed in her bitten lip, the way she hugged her knees. Dialogue with Rajesh.
If the fish sign means star in Dravidian, mean, and the jar, kuda, for vessel, perhaps it's administrative. But Victor lurked, spreading doubts. Your methods are flawed, he argued in a heated debate around the campfire, flames flickering on their faces. No bilingual, it's impossible. Maya's desire hardened into resolve. She traveled to Mohenjo-Daro, the mound of the dead, where the great bath loomed like a silent sentinel. Here flashbacks deepened. Imagine ancient priestess Leela dipping into the pool's cool waters, inscribing a seal with symbols for rituals. The gods speak through these, she told her apprentice, voice soft with reverence. Maya felt a connection, touching the bricks, but conflict escalated. A storm damaged the site, washing away clues, and Victor's team claimed priority on a key seal. By part's end, Maya stood alone at dusk, the river murmuring. I must change my approach, she thought, a tear tracing her cheek. Growth hinted. But what secrets await in the symbol's depths? Will Maya crack the code, or will the past stay silent? Join me in Part 2 for the heart of the mystery.
Don't go anywhere, friends. I'll be back in just 2 minutes with more of Maya's adventure. Grab a quick sip of water yourself, or nudge that friend who needs to hear this tale. Tell him to join us for the next part, where the real decoding begins. Stay right there. The Indus whispers are about to get louder. Hello again, faithful listeners. It's your grandfatherly guide, back with fresh energy after that little rest. Did you miss me? I hope you used the break to grab a snack or tell a pal about forgotten stories. Subscribe if you haven't, so we can keep these tales flowing. Now, let's pick up where we left off. Maya at Mohenjo-Daro, on the cusp of change, her desire to decode the Indus Script clashing with mounting conflicts. The moon hung low over the ruins, casting long shadows on the brick streets that had stood silent for millennia. Maya wandered the grid-like layout, her flashlight beam dancing over walls etched with faint graffiti, more symbols teasing her. Location grounded her. The dry heat of Sindh province, the distant call of peacocks, the earthy smell of excavated soil. Her actions were deliberate, kneeling to trace a sign, a pipal tree motif that might symbolize life or divinity. Thoughts tormented her. Victor's right about one thing, no long texts. How can I decode without context? Emotions welled up, shone in her heavy sighs, the way she wiped sweat from her brow with a trembling hand, but desire pushed her on. Back in her tent, she pored over digital scans, simulating decodings. Suppose the unicorn is a royal emblem, she whispered, and the signs beside it, numerals for taxes. Rajesh joined her, their dialogue crackling with excitement. Try the entropy method. Rao's 2009 study showed conditional dependencies, like real language. They ran code on her laptop, screens glowing in the dim light. But conflict intensified. Victor published a paper dismissing her finds as artifacts of wishful thinking, citing the lack of vowels or clear phonetics. Funding cuts hit. Maya's university emailed, results or return home. Personally, doubts gnawed. Am I chasing Grandpa's ghost? Change began in a Delhi archive, where Maya met an elderly scholar, Amara Singh, who shared tales of past attempts. Parpola thought Dravidian, Hunter saw Sumerian links, but all failed for want of a key. Amara's voice, frail yet wise, mirrored Maya's inner shift. She adapted, collaborating instead of soloing. Flashback to ancient times. In Dolavera, an island city in the desert, Scribe Tari inscribed seals for water management, symbols for reservoirs, perhaps. This will ensure our survival, he told his son, pride swelling in his chest. Maya's breakthrough simulation, mapping signs to Proto-Indo-European roots, but blending with AI models from recent efforts. What if it's multilingual? Emotions peaked, joy in a gasp as patterns emerged. Yet danger arose, a theft at the site, seals vanishing, victors suspected, tension built in a confrontation. You'd sabotage for glory? Maya accused, voice shaking. In the climax, Maya uncovered a hidden inscription, longer, hinting at a story. Change fully. She realized decoding wasn't conquest, but respect for mystery. Result? Partial success, publishing a probabilistic model, inspiring community challenges. The script whispered, but didn't yell. Maya returned home, wiser, the prize unclaimed, but knowledge gained. The puzzle endures. What might you decode, listener? Thank you warmly for joining this tale. Until next time, keep wondering. Oh, and before you go, my friends, don't miss a single story. Subscribe to Forgotten Stories to keep unraveling mysteries with me. Share this with a friend who loves a good riddle. And let's keep the fire of curiosity burning bright. Good night.